Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.
He'll put you in his trap 'cause he's a union man. He's got it all figured out. He won't care what you think 'cause he's a northern man. He's allowed to speak his mind. His
The Wigan Way podcast is brought to you by Cherry and White Pins, a local Wigan Warriors themed pin badge company with a variety of Wigan ranges. You can get free shipping on all orders when you use the code The Wigan Way, that's The Wigan Way, all in capitals, at checkout. Thanks to them for supporting the show.
So we're back this week on the Wigan Way, joined by Matty and Lewis. Both of you here this week.
Yeah.
How have your weeks been, Matty? How have you been, mate?
Yeah, great. Went up to Scotland, to West Kilbride, Monday through to Friday. Only just made the game because of a broken down coach on the only lane of the M6 that was open. Due to some roadworks that were, well, there was nobody there working on the road. So, yeah, that was annoying. At one point it said I was going to get to the game at 8:27, in which case I would have missed one of the only tries. I actually did make it in time for the game because they managed to move the coach just in time. So, yeah, I had a good week aside from that.
Yeah, Lewis, how are you, mate?
All good, all good. Last week I'm out some holidays now. I'm back in work tomorrow. So I've had a nice summer period, I've obviously been on holiday. Got to a good couple of rugby games, home and away.
Yeah.
So it's been a nice 6 weeks off, to be fair, for the summer. So ready to go now. Batteries are recharged.
I'm quite looking forward to this weekend's game because it's on a Sunday. We don't tend to have many Sundays, but we always like them when we get them.
Nice Sunday games.
Nice Sunday game, 3:00, get some dinner down here.
Nice and chilled, isn't it?
Have
Got
a
to
walk
Wigan.
down. Might be nice weather again, that'll be good.
Yeah, Sunday games, they're everyone used to love them, but they seem to have sort of died off for Friday games and then they come back in spells, don't they? They're always enjoyable. Should we get into this game then, lads? So, obviously, unfortunately, not the result that we wanted. The loss gives Hull KR the 2 points and puts them in pretty much locked in for that league leaders shield. It'd be a real surprise if they...
Yeah, because it's basically 7 points, isn't it, with the superior
points
points difference they've been given by playing Huddersfield and Salford in extra time. That means they're basically 7 points ahead.
Yeah. 10-6 it was. Obviously, Dean had the try and Reece Martin converting 2 penalties. Adam Kieran scored for Wigan and kicked the conversion. How did you feel about this game generally going in? Obviously, I was a little bit nervous when you see the squad and there's no French, there's no Farrimond, no Luke Thompson.
Yeah, Kieran has to go into the halves. Miski being back was a bit of a shock to us. I think he's done a good job in this game, considering he's been out for so long. Walters having to play 80 minutes. He looked like someone who'd just come off the back of a long injury. Yet he's going to take some time to get back to full fitness. Miski likewise. But I thought that Kieran in the halves, he did pretty well. I thought it was an admirable job for him. But, his position he's done before. I thought he did all right at 6.
I think he has done every time he's been asked to play them, hasn't he? French's absence and with a couple of injuries to the members of the 3/4 line, you've asked him to go to 6, but I think every time he's been in there, he's always stood up really. He's always good defensively, so you're not really bothered about your second rowers running over the top of him or anything like that. He's solid defensively, as we've seen.
He's not let anyone down in there, has he?
No. I thought KR had an awful lot of ball in our 20-metre zone, in our red zone, if you want to call it that, to be All-American. I felt like they had a lot of play the balls there, particularly in that first half. And they only scored 1 try, and it was a really nice try. I thought it was a really nice try.
It was a good play off Morgan, wasn't it? That delayed pass to Hadley. It was a good 6 play, to be fair.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good 6 play. I think the line that Hadley runs is so good.
It's really clever because it's straight at Harry Smith. And then just as Smith getting committed just drifts out, brings Wardle into play.
Yeah, it's proper second row play, this.
Yeah.
Really good second row play, that.
And sometimes you just got to put your hands up and say other teams are allowed to play well. They're allowed to put moves on that threatening, and it was well executed and a good finish by Dean Hadley.
Yeah, well, you're not going to nil a team like Hull KR either. You would expect them to get at least one try, if not a couple of tries.
Would you give them all that ball?
I'll be honest with you, actually, before the game, we thought it was going to be close. With how the game actually was panning out, like you said, how much time they had in good ball in our 20-metre line. Obviously, we'll talk about it, but I would say we was on the back of a couple of unlucky calls from the referee as well. So with all that given in over the course of the game, you could actually look back now and say, you know what, I'm surprised it was only a 4-point. A 4-point difference. You know what I mean?
I think the telling thing for the possession and the threat that Hull KR had on our line was when you look at the play the balls in the opposition 20, we had 2.
That's always a good indicator.
Hull KR had 25.
Yeah, that's always a good indicator. You know the old style margin meter, Phil Clark's margin meter, where he put every stat into it apart from the score. I actually quite liked that, by the way. I think as a bit of a nerd myself, I actually quite liked that.
A bit like Bull, let's have a look at how much you could be winning by.
Exactly, but that's what it would have said to Hull KR. Here's how many you should be winning by, 18. I reckon, it would say at least 3 tries. And they weren't. I think that's just due to good scramble defence and good defence in general from Wigan, that we kept giving them chances, and that was our fault mainly. Although they did a few nice things, their forwards were good. I thought in particular Sue. Well, I know he didn't do loads and loads of minutes, but he was impactful. Yeah, and we didn't handle him very well. I thought the others were handled all right, but Sue was a big difference, I thought. And I know we're missing our best prop forward, and Sue probably is their best prop forward for the moment. But he had a really good game, and I think he deserved to be on the winning side more than anyone else for Hull KR, more than anyone else for Wigan on that day. I think he was my man of the match. But I thought that we defended our 20 so well. Yeah. Defended our line so well.
Much better than we've seen in previous weeks gone by performances. Yes. I thought we did toughen up a little bit, especially our goal line defence.
Should we talk about that? Because if we're being honest, we weren't great going forward, and we weren't threatening enough. But if you want to take out any positive from that, the sheer weight of possession, the sheer weight of good ball that Hull KR had,
and we kept the best attack in the league. The best attack in the league. Yeah, to one try.
To one try,
and it was a well taken try, as we've just said.
And I'm going to say, it felt like they resorted to a little bit of barge overs. I think there was 3 tackles back to back where they tried the scoop from 9.
They did try a lot of barge overs, but then they had a lot of balls, so they tried everything. Yeah, like if you have 25 play the balls, you can try a few barge overs, and probably should.
That is sort of my point that I'm trying to get at here. Even though I've seen some responses that are doom and gloom, and we'll never beat these men again. For the memory of man, if you listen to some people.
No, that's just rubbish because we lost to them last year.
But...
And the year before. And the year before that.
Hull KR will notice that they only scored 1 try. And you add back Bevan French and Luke Thompson, and I understand, they've got to add Tyrone Main, they've got to add...
Junior as well, because...
Gildan. But we've got to add plenty back, and it's 3 of our big strike players. They'll be concerned over that they weren't able to get 3 or 4 tries.
I don't know if they will, to be honest. I wouldn't be if I was in that situation. If I was in that away end, I'd say, well, maybe if it was a home game, I would think that. But with it being an away game, I think you just got to win.
You've got to win.
You just got to win sometimes, and they haven't done that against us in the past, and so it will be a big win for them, and I think they will take a lot of confidence out of it. But I don't think we'll be dejected because we kept it close and because we defended so well against them. I think for our attack not scoring many points, you just have to look at that stat you just read out there, play the balls in the opposition 22.
What was it? We completed at 74%.
Well, that's not going to get you any chances. You talk about your playmakers, our playmakers are coming for stick again. What are they going to do?
My thing is with that, I think the reason why does, and I don't want to take it away from OKR's defence, but I think the reason why we didn't have many play the balls in the opposition 20 was because we kept on giving it away too early with the errors and the completion rate. As I'm not surprised, it's 74, just under 3/4. There's many times I can remember that when we did get a bit of a let off and we got a penalty or Hooker made no drop ball, we think, right, time to go put some pressure. Even if we don't score, pin him in the corner, attack with defence, build some pressure. We got to the second, third tackle and dropped it.
And it's exactly what I was talking about last week. Early in the tackle count, mistakes are criminal. Late in the tackle count, if you're trying to score a try, you can understand them.
We
But
didn't handle momentum swing changes well for me. We got a little bit of momentum and lost it because we dropped the ball.
The only time we did
us to have
was
some
when we
momentum.
scored.
Lost it by dropping the ball, and it happened too many times for me repeatedly.
I was going to say, I can think of 3 where Hull KR made a mistake, dropped the ball. One was in the first half, 2 in the second half. We dropped the ball.
I would not be surprised if I watched it back on more than 3 Dukes.
I think
No, that's just 3 off the top of my
That's what
head.
I mean, that you can remember. I would
we dropped it a couple of times on the
line.
line, and I'm thinking, right, we've got a play to set up here, and then all of a sudden the ref blowing his whistle and we've lost the ball.
Yeah.
And that happened too many times, and I think I've got to have sympathy for the pivots, for the playmakers in this situation. I don't know what they're expected to do apart from conjure up a miracle.
You can't set anything up if you've not got a good
Exactly.
position, can you?
Exactly. And every time we did set something up, like I just said, we never got a chance to play the ball.
Well, this is something that me and you, Lewis, commented at the game. Obviously, you were sat next to me. Smith came in for some stick, and
As
always, but I don't think it was his best game. But what I will say is we're kicking from our 30-metre line to a winger and two wingers and a fullback who are covering 50 metres.
Well, that's just always been an impossible kick.
And you're asking him to kick the ball 60 metres, find ground, get it to stop on the in goal so you don't give a 20-metre restart away. Get height so you full.
Yeah, but the whole point
It's
is
impossible.
the fullback and the 2 wingers are dropping back is so they can cover the whole pitch.
Yeah.
Like they're quick players. They've got to cover the whole pitch.
It's exactly the reason you never see 40-20s when the wingers drop back, and you never see things like that because it's next to impossible.
Yeah.
And doing it once or twice in a game when you're in the arm wrestle is fine, but if you're asking Harry Smith to consistently kick from his own 30 metres, he's not going to find ground. He's not going to put us in good positions.
No, I think we spoke about what Morg did for the try, but I think you swap Morg and Smith and it's the same result because it's tough for a halfback in this sort of situation. I don't think you can blame one player. You never can blame one player unless it's a situation where we spoke about in the whole game where everyone blamed Wade. Even then, you could have stopped it at source. You could have put more kick pressure on. You could have restricted meters. Things like that. In rugby, you can never just blame one person.
And it's very easy to.
Oh, it's easy to. I mean, when I say you can never, I mean, you should never. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to blame one person and it's convenient, but it's wrong. You can't blame 1 or 2 or 3 people. It's a team game probably more than any other.
Yeah.
Sometimes, David, when I see Curtis Harry Smith and people watching the same game, though, like, defensively, for such a small body. You know what I mean? The tackles he makes and he gets stuck in there, he loops out at the back at the right time to close players down. You know, he's fantastic. He's in play, all right, he might have, 1 or 2 where they go out on the full, but show me an half-back who's not put a bad kick in at some point in the season, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and we got a message on Twitter about the way that Harry Smith defends. He gets out there and stops it at source. He gets in front of the line, makes the pass out the back difficult. The one try that we conceded, it came through Harry, but he was isolated on his own line. Like Wigan try and do every chance to get within December wall to foul. Like it was just executed. Usually defends so well, and he defended really, really well.
I think there was a Brias thing. I noticed it certainly when Brias came on to the staff, and it's kind of the same style of defending that Brias used when he was in Super League. It's clever. It's up in your face. It's not cheating. It's just like a shortcut, kind of.
It's get there before they build up that speed.
Yeah.
Before you let a second rower run over you.
But you've got to do it if you're tiny.
Yeah.
Get there and then hang on.
Yeah, it works.
It just seems very strange for me. I think so many people are so quick, to criticise and think, as a young halfback who come under line, which he shouldn't have played that. We've talked about this on the podcast before. Shouldn't have played that many games. Was doing to play way too many games way early on his career. He's flourished. He's represented England, and I don't know. Like you look at someone like a club like Hull KR. How happy and proud are they, Mikey Lewis?
Yeah.
But we're the first one to criticise our homegrown halfback and blame a result, a loss on it.
And also, if he plays well, he doesn't get any praise.
No, that's it. We should love him as much as okay, I love Mikey Lewis,
If
but
not more,
he's
because he's won us so many more trophies.
yeah, but he's a scapegoat for some reason, and
I don't think he
get it.
minds.
I don't think it bothers him.
No, he's got thick skin, hasn't he? But
Yeah, he needs to be half-back for Wigan. I think that...
Don't get me wrong, the
that
Wigan
might-
number 7 is a massive shirt.
And that might come for Lewis in the end. That might happen for him. You have to remember, he's a couple of years behind Harry in his development and his stardom and all this. They turned on Jake Connor eventually. Not LKR fans, but supporters turned on Jake Connor eventually. Now he's won them back over with good performances, but this just might happen to any half-back. It's such a pressure position, and people expect you to be perfect all the time, even when you are struggling off the back of a slightly beaten pack and no territory, and he's getting the kick pressure in his face the whole time. The pass is slightly below him. He's expected to kick it. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I get why people are criticising because he didn't have a great game, but also the odds were stacked a bit against him.
Yeah. Right. Should we go into a few refereeing decisions that were made over the next 20 minutes?
First one, Liam Farrell on Elliot Mitchell, captain on captain violence.
Right.
just a block kick for the sin bin for Favre got
Where he
7-10.
blocked him, yeah.
I cannot believe I've seen people commenting asking why he's not been banned
For a professional foul.
for professional foul. Like it has never been the rule. It is just a yellow
No, but
card.
it doesn't matter if it's never been the rule, it's a Wigan player.
True.
Banning.
I tell you what, we're lucky that it was a Wigan ref. Really lucky. My point being is, at the time I thought it was a penalty try.
I didn't.
I said-
No.
You proved to me 100 million % that Elliot Mitchell was going to score.
That's what I mean. When I watched it live,
It's not
I
in the
thought
act
it
of
was a
scoring.
try.
It's not in the act of scoring. As soon as it happened, because I've seen these so many times, it's yellow card and 2 points. These happen all the time. Probably 5 or 6 times a year. These.
It was a bit of squeaky bum time for me when I saw it because I went, oh God, that could be a penalty try. And then when I watched it back, I thought, hold on, every time I've seen that, it's a yellow card.
Every time
That's
I've
what
seen
I
it, it's
know.
been a yellow card. Every
So,
time.
At first in the moment, I panicked and went, oh no, if you don't know. But then, as I watched it back, I went, no, actually, I think it's... And a lot of people go, it should have been a penalty try, it should have been a bit... If you go back and watch anywhere they block a kicker on a short kick, it's a sin bin, it's 10 minutes, it's been
In
consistent.
fact, Harry Smith did it last year and got sin bin for it.
Yeah,
It happens a few times a year. We've seen it loads over the years. If this happens, you can't prove he's going to get there before Jay Field. You can't prove he's going to score. You can't prove it. Unless he's in the act of scoring and he gets fouled, it's not a penalty try. People have to understand that is the rule.
Yeah.
It's denial of a clear try-scoring opportunity, therefore it is a yellow card and 2 free points. And those were the only 2 points they scored while Farrell's off the field, so you got to admit it was worth it.
I was going to say, it's also made me laugh, people saying, like, why did he do it?
It's
Like, what's he meant to do? Just let him run
every
in.
single professional should do that. No matter
What's
what
he meant to do? Have a
even
free
if-
run at the ball?
Even if you're a professional table tennis player, you should do that. If you're in that situation. Any professional in any sport has got to cheat to win. They just have to. That's what makes them pros. That's what makes them better than the likes of us, the mere spectators.
Yeah.
You've got to do this. You've got to foul him.
Now, the next point we want to talk about, right on the hooter, we did get a penalty with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, useful.
Really, really useful.
I'm sure I was only like 1 of 2 in that, which I was just like,
We didn't get a
wow.
penalty in the whole second half, did we?
Same as last week, wasn't it?
We didn't get one last week either in the whole second half, did we? And we didn't get one opening day in the whole game.
I think we had one in the game.
Did we?
I think this was just so frustrating because there were just so many fans calling for offsides and screaming at the referee, seeing him when you sat in the... I mean, we sit in the east stand, so, when you're on line with it, we sit right about the 30-metre line, from the south stand. And when they're on line there and you could see there was definitely a couple of dubious ones, should we say. And then he blows one and you're like, well, what's the point of that? We've only got 30 seconds left, what we meant to do with this?
Well, that was him evening it up.
It just seemed a bit, thanks a lot, 30 seconds to go, that's very useful.
They come in and say, I was even that.
That's actually what we said. As soon as he gave it and everyone cheered, there was a little bit like, no, don't want a penalty with 30 seconds left.
It's about as useful as a chocolate fire guard.
But we did have a chance with a little chip over from Harry Smith. Field, taken off the ball.
Yeah, wiped out off the ball with sideways move.
It's just a penalty.
Yeah, of course it is. We should have challenged it though. That's what we've got a challenge for. When a referee makes a mistake, you challenge it. That's what the challenge is there for. Should have used it.
Yeah. Weird, wasn't it? I don't know why we didn't. Maybe you want to keep it for the second half and not risk
that's
it.
probably what it was. Not risk it, keep it safe. I think now teams are using the challenge more on ball steals because they're more likely to be overturned.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we're saving it for a potential ball steal moment.
We did see Hull KR use those early.
But they tried it for a ball steal moment, which for some reason they're still talking about, even though it's Tuesday and the game was on Friday and they won it. But I don't think that was a ball steal. But we've seen them give them. That could have gone either way, that.
Yeah. So it was 8-0, half-time. I will say I was relatively happy with the amount of, when you look at the field position that it was, and we've already mentioned the surrounding things. Walking in at 8-0, I was actually...
Well, I thought that we were lucky to only be 8-0 down, but then I thought that they were lucky to be on with 13 men.
Yes.
Really, at the half-time, I thought they were lucky to have 13 men. There was a incident with Jay Field, and there was an accusation of an eye gouge, which was checked by the video ref and not given.
Yeah. I'll be honest, at the time, this was the first of the several incidences that we're going to talk about. I just went, well, the referees looked at it, video refs looked at it. He's obviously not eye gouged him, it's obviously something else.
Well, initially I saw some of our players complaining, and I thought, well, that won't work. You have to run in to get it checked. We've seen this before for many years. It's wrong, but that's how it works. So then we run in, and it gets checked. And, it's hard to say, isn't it? But I don't know what else he would be doing.
No.
It looks like, I don't think he was taking out his contact lenses for him. Let's say that.
No. But the second incident we're going to talk about, Jared on Tyler Dupree, a raised elbow. This was the non-ball carrying hand as well, non-ball carrying arm as well, into Dupree's head.
The Fozzard special, you could say.
Yeah, well,
he didn't have the big thick cast that was made of plaster, or whatever it was made of. They used to ram into people's faces, but this was a bit of a Fozzard moment, this.
Well, there's a couple of things to mention here. Obviously, Tyler Dupree got done for this last year at St Helens.
Yeah, he had 10 minutes in the sin bin, didn't he? And I remember a lot of people then thought it should have been a red card.
Yes.
Which that energy hasn't been kept up, presumably because the shoe's on the other foot.
But that was also ball carrying arm.
Was it?
Yeah, it was his left arm as he's gone into the tackle with Matty Lees. Here, this is non-ball carrying arm. You can see Jared's reaction. You pointed it out at the time, Lewis, when you watch him on the screen and he saw the video of it and him throw his head back and go, oh no, I've got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I don't think there's any intent in it. I don't think he's deliberately thought I'm going to try and knock him out with my other arm.
Do you think you should be allowed to do this?
No.
No, you shouldn't.
You
be
can't
allowed
be
allowed to do
someone's
this.
head.
No, because you're setting for a defensive tackle.
Yeah, if we're saying that defenders have to get, head
Not
low,
without the cracking down on head knocks.
Exactly, that's what I
you
mean.
then can't go and say, oh yeah, but you can raise your elbow in tackle.
You've got to be
stuff like
saying
that.
if you've got to say defenders get your heads low for making tackles and things, you can't then be saying that's elbow height, so you can just elbow them in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's resulted in he's got a 2-game ban after the
Yeah,
match
I mean,
review
it was
panel.
only 5 points.
I think Hull KR are
tipped
appealing
him
it.
over the edge. It tipped him over into a 2-game ban, so he didn't just get 2 games for this.
Right, sorry, I see. Yeah, good to clarify.
It tipped him over the edge, so to speak, into 2 games bans worth of points.
But doesn't that just show he should have seen yellow card?
Well, what he did was wrong, clearly.
And
if he's got 5 points, he possibly should have seen a red card.
I can actually forgive the referee, on-field referee.
Oh, it happens so fast that you're not going to pick this up as an on-field referee. You're looking for high tackles and things like that. You're not going to pick that up. Well, 2 touch judges as well, I suppose, but they're looking for other things. This one has to be...
The weird one for me is that the video refs looked at it.
Well, that has to be the procedure. It has to be looked at by the video referee.
But what I don't get, how has he looked at it and not even give a penalty, but then he's got banned and got...
No, and it wasn't even put on report.
Do you know what I mean? That's, to me, says that
Yeah.
the referees, as a collective,
Got it wrong.
have got it wrong and missed
And even
it.
if you were not sure, you'd put it on report because then Wigan can activate the 18th man if needed.
Yeah.
So if Dupree fails it and it's due to potential foul play, i.e. it's gone on report or worse, then they can activate the 18th man. But he didn't even put it on report. So he's looked at that and said, absolutely fine, A-OK. Nothing wrong with it at all.
You've not even give a penalty.
No.
They've said everything is okay with that.
They've looked at that, not even put it on report. They've said everything with that is 100% okay. And then a different panel of people have looked at it on a Monday and gone, actually, it's worth 5 points.
Don't help us though, does it? When it's done afterwards. That's the problem, isn't it?
Well, and it takes Callum Dupree out of the game for 10 minutes. And Adam Kieran had already missed 10 minutes of the game.
He was still off for them 10 minutes.
For a HIA, which was caused by foul play from another player, Elliot Minchella. So, at what point does this start to really hurt your team?
Well, if you look at that, one, it switches the momentum that you know you're down to 15 for a spell. 2 of your bench players are going through HIA assessments at the same time. You should have a penalty for the Kieran one, because you can't just run into the back of someone who's stood stationary. You just can't do that.
Well, we saw somebody given 10 minutes for that in a later game this week.
We've seen that
The
clearly
Saints game,
the Jared one should have been a penalty and a yellow card.
at least.
So you're thinking Wigan should have got a penalty on Hulkar's 40-metre defensive line. Been in an attacking position.
Yeah,
Down to 12.
I suppose you can think about these situations, and it clearly would have impacted the game hugely, but they didn't go that way. They just didn't go that way for us. The ball didn't bounce in our way, so to speak. In real life, it didn't bounce our way, and in terms of these decisions, it didn't go our way either. There might be some games where these have gone in our favour. Now, the problem I have with the whole thing, I admit decisions are going to go for us, decisions are going to go against us, things like that happen. The problem I have with it was 2 problems, really. When we went away to Cass, they received an official apology for what was a miscarriage of justice due to Harry Smith holding a player back without the ball.
Yeah.
That was not given. This time, there's been... whether it's accidental or deliberate, there has been a forceful elbow to the head, which has been deemed to be worth 5 penalty points, and
not play for 2 games against St Helens and Leeds.
And there's been no mention of any sort of apologies. Okay, whatever. The other thing is, I do think that our referees are being put in a vulnerable position by the fact that they are being announced midweek who's going to ref what game. I don't know if they do that in football. Certainly isn't public. Certainly isn't tweeted where you can have lots of replies and comments. If I were a referee, I don't know if they do look at social media at all. I definitely wouldn't, although it would be tempting. But it must put them in such a difficult position. It's a very vulnerable position.
Well, we've talked about Wigan's effect on the game and the players it's produced and the referees that it's produced. What is it? Is it 3 or 4? From the Wigan area?
3 from the Wigan area of 7 or 8, yes.
And when we get a referee from Wigan, the immediate call is from opposition fans, or Wigan referees don't give Wigan everything. And the call from every Wigan fan, or he tries so hard not to be biased that he gives us nothing.
Yeah. And that happened all week from both sides. And how are you meant to referee a game after that? Every decision you'll be overthinking it.
Well,
unless you're in,
every
decision,
decision,
you have to be the most mentally strong person in the world to be able to perform properly as a referee after that.
Every decision you give, so half of the people watching are going to say,
yeah,
you've only given that because it's Wigan.
Somebody knocks on, and we've moved past it, and we're hoping for them to improve in defence. A referee makes a mistake, and it's talked about very, very publicly.
I think the problem we've got is, my understanding of it, or I don't know, my perception of it, is probably the better word to say, is it looks like we've only got 2 refs who take on the big games in Liam Moore and Chris Kendall. Now, when Wigan play, it pretty much is a big game. Right off the bottom most of the table, but obviously Wigan go to Leeds, they go to Saints, they go to Lee, they go to Hull KR, they go to Wire. You're going to say, well, hold on, that's a big game, so it will be one of the 2, Kendall or Moore. Well, then we are going to get a Wigan ref quite a lot, because if there's only 2 who are going to ref the big games, and when people play Wigan, it is a big game, you can, hence why we're going to have Liam Moore quite a bit. So,
but it's interesting, we played Huddersfield the other week, and Kendall refereed, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, was it Kendall? I think our games against Huddersfield have been refereed by Kendall and Liam Rush, whose brother actually plays for Huddersfield.
Yeah. But no one talked about...
Well, we did, because no one else did.
any unfairness there. And
It's the whole big. Lewis is right because it's a big game.
you know for a fact, Liam Moore. I can't actually remember who was the video ref. Was it Jack Smith, the video ref?
I think it's Jack Smith. Yeah, I think it was Jack.
The refereeing team. We all know the full-time professionals. They're gonna want to get every decision right, and they'll go through it on review, and they'll be questioning why you give such and such a thing. But they're talked about so much that it's becoming an issue.
But the problem is they're being talked so much before the game's even started.
Yeah.
I always remember we used to talk about referees after the game. We used to say, we got this wrong, you got this right, oh, ref had a good game, didn't notice him today. Whatever. But we moved on for the next match. But now the refereeing appointment is announced on a Monday morning, and there's 5 days of people talk, well, he's going to give everything to this team.
Yeah.
Oh, that goes our chance of winning.
Do you think you should just rock up
Yeah.
and no one know?
No, I think that's it. How it should be. Yeah. I think that's how it should be.
Listen, I was going to say this, and we had this conversation off.
You obviously need to.
podcast.
You could guess who it's going to be because you obviously need to have the best refs at the biggest games. So you could guess. We might have Liam Moore, we might have Chris Kendall, we might have Jack Smith, but you don't know until it actually happens.
Yeah, until you get there and you see them running out. I've had this conversation with you both off the podcast or whatever, and obviously social media, and being able to look at every decision. We know back in the day, you'd go finish the game, go to the pub, and you go, oh, he got this one wrong. But you wouldn't be able to go and watch it and see it and say, oh, he's got 4 wrong for us, but he's got 2. He's given them 2 that they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Because everyone can see it so often. There's just so much chance of criticising, almost.
I think that's just the world we live in.
That's the world we've gone into now.
We've spent probably 15 minutes now talking about refereeing decisions, and that is going to happen, and that always has happened. But I don't like that people have made up their minds about how somebody's going to referee the game on a Monday morning and then spend 5 days fueling that. I think they should just ref the game and we'll see who it is when we turn up.
I actually don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I think it's a good shout.
Right, before we go, we should talk about Wigan's try. We sort of called it.
We did. We got some credit for that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Someone
That's
sent
all I
us a
remembered.
message saying, well done, you called that try. We said we were going to score from a scrum, or try and score from a scrum move, set play, or whatever it was.
But this comes back to that shape that we showed. And Field was sat behind the scrum in that no man's land that he likes to pick up. Smith feeds the ball and bolts to his left. You just see defenders slide when they see Smith go, thinking that's the cue.
Yeah.
And Lehman jumps out from the back, hits Kieran on a short ball, who steps past a covering player.
Yeah, we've seen this before from Kieran, haven't we? A few times. I remember him scoring one against Lee where he went past Mount Moylan. When Moylan had the ribs injury.
Yeah.
I've seen him do it at Cass this year. We saw him do it at Cass.
I think from them scrums he runs a very, very good line.
There's one at Salford, I think, as well last year. He's hard to tackle. He's a big fella, isn't he? He can move.
He's tough. That's the thing. He runs like he's trying to run through a brick wall. He tackles like, he shoves his body into everything, doesn't he? Whether it's a run, whether it's a tackle, he's tough. He's not scared of getting hurt. And I think you're right, Matty. That's why he's hard to tackle. You get him one-on-one and he's running at you like that. He's a nightmare for tackle. He's an handful.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. And it's another one in the chamber, isn't it, that people are going to have to review when they think about giving away a scrum to Wigan. They're going to have to think about that move.
Yeah, because either side you've got 2 very different centres. Wardle, who'll probably beat you with a step and a fend.
Well, that is kind of what Kieran's doing as well.
I think Kieran runs that line so aggressive that he beats you through going through your shoulder almost.
No, it's a tough one for defenders, that, isn't it? Kieran coming at you like that.
Talked about it for this podcast. It's horrible defending scrums.
Scrums are, yeah.
Because you're literally one-on-one, your mate's not 5 metres at side of you, or 2 metres at side of you.
At least double
you're
that.
looking, you're thinking, hold on a minute, you could park a bus between me and him, and you look on your inside, you can park a bus between me and him as well, and you're thinking there's just so many gaps, and you, like you say, get an athletic person like Kieran, like Wardle, they could step me into me inside, they can just run around me if I'm on my heels and go on my outside, they can... So much.
Sam Burgess this is a rogue shit. Sam Burgess was talking this week about scrums.
Yeah.
He was on Stick to Cricket.
Nice.
The cricket podcast. And he was telling the people on there, in rugby league, the scrum's kind of just for tradition. we don't strike, we don't push, not really. It's not contested, it's just for tradition. And I was thinking, maybe he's saying that because he's with 4 famous cricketers, but it's not just for tradition, it's to get all the big lads in one place and give loads of acres to the other lads, and
it's to punish mistakes.
Well, yeah, and that's why they changed the rule on if you got thrown in touch, it was a play the ball rather than a scrum. Or if you knocked on the last tackle, it was a play the ball rather than a scrum. It's to encourage you to play wide and to play on last tackle rather than just kick it, because that's more interesting. And so if you do cough up the ball, tackle 1 to 4, you deserve to be punished by having a scrum against you. I think if you throw in touch or drop it on last tackle, you should as well, but I can see why they did that.
I can see why they've done that to try and stop.
We try and encourage you to play wide and play power plays and things like that, because they're interesting.
Yeah. Right. So that was the game. Obviously, Wigan had a little bit of a chance with with about 20 seconds to go.
Never works. We watched Hull and Lee try this, which we'll talk about in Around the Grounds. It never works. No. You always get excited. It might work this time. It's going to work this time.
It's got to work one time on it.
It never works. Just launch.
I do ask, and I wonder why teams just don't just launch the ball as high as they can and go and contest it.
Well, that's what they used to do. Teams used to do that. Now it's all about throw it. Everyone get back on side, throw it. You're just going backwards now, just launching it. You chance of you making a mistake.
Put a bomb up, go and contest it, try and pat it back.
Well, if you put a bomb up and contest it, the other team aren't going to catch it, are they? So unless you knock on, there's a chance for a bit of chaos.
But yeah, right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got the news. So we're back after that quick break. Matty, what has caught your eye this week?
I've got 3, and they're all from outside the UK.
Oh.
Yeah, but my first one is Billy Smith. It relates to the UK because he switched his international allegiance to England. This is the Roosters' outside back centre. Been plagued with injuries over his time in the NRL. Decent centre. Not a position that we're particularly struggling at, though.
Do you think he could play a wing? Obviously, we've got a couple of issues with... is he an out-and-out centre?
I've only ever seen him play centre. I mean, Matt's played 6 as well, but...
It's interesting because he plays for the Roosters and they're going well at the minute in the NRL.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's not played as much as he would have wanted to in the NRL. He has had a lot of injuries. He's had a long layoff. He's come back.
It's a position we're strong in the winter.
Well, he's not going to get in over Herbie, is he? And if he's not played that much, I can't see him getting over Ward.
You know, this screams of a sort of playing somebody like this screams of what Uncle Wayne would have done. Wayne Bennett, that is, not Uncle Sean. Yeah. I don't think Uncle Sean will do that. I think he'll keep playing. He'll keep Super League lads in the team if they deserve it.
Yeah,
and I think Farnworth and Wardles seems like our partnership that we're going to go with. Don't think anything will change.
It seems the obvious choice, doesn't it?
The Ethan Strange is another one, Canberra 6, who could potentially play for England. Hasn't
Ricky's been calling for him to play for us, for Australia, hasn't he?
Yeah, Ricky's been saying he probably gets in Australia's best side at the moment. I don't think he really... Cameron Munster's got that shirt kind of locked down. I don't think anyone...
I think Jaden's ahead of him as well.
Well, Jaden, yeah, more of a 7, I suppose. But I think... Obviously, Ethan Strange is an incredibly talented footballer and would improve probably the England side.
Well, he's playing for Canberra, currently top.
Yeah, and he's playing really well as well. In that number 6 jersey, all season long. He's a really good player, really talented player. It just remains to be seen who he changes his allegiance to. Yeah. Or if he sticks with Australia, he probably will get in the squad for them. That's my first eye catcher. My second one was Harry Grant. That no good piece of garbage, Harry Grant. That snake in the grass. Doing exactly what I said all good professionals should do earlier and cheating to get his side the win. Not cheating, but diving.
Playing to the rules.
Well, yes, gamesmanship, I should call it. I'm a big fan of what he did here because the rule is stupid. There's a rule where you can't block on a field goal attempt, a drop goal attempt. And if someone runs into you and then falls to the ground in enough of a theatrical way...
Well, so the rule's saying you can't block a field goal attempt you can stand still, but you can't block the route of someone. He takes a dive.
Absolutely, he takes a dive.
But I was listening to, I think about to Willie Mason's podcast, and they were on about this. Harry,
he would have been perfect as a blocker for a full goal. He would have done that in his time as a big front rower.
but what he said was Harry Grant at the start of the year against Penrith gave away a penalty because he charged down a field goal attempt and hit the leg of Cleary. So what he's done this time is try to go around him rather than come from the side almost to stop him giving away a penalty. So the rules are that difficult to play with, and you have to use them to your advantage, I think it's getting to.
Yeah, I suppose. And then, of course, to cap off that moment in golden point extra time, Harry Grant dummies to pass to his halfback.
So clever, this.
For the drop goal attempt, and then just goes through untouched.
I was watching this in the morning, can't remember which day it was, but I was watching it in the morning live, and I remember just watching it as he threw that dummy and went under. I remember going, oh my word, that's clever. Like, that is so clever.
Penrith seem to get a lot of Thursday games, do you?
Yes.
Feels like it's always Penrith.
It's a prime time thing for them.
I suppose they want to be on a Thursday. A lot of teams want to be on a Thursday.
Have a look. The NRL released a clip with an alternate angle, and it's where you can see Harry Grant running towards the play of the ball.
Yeah.
And he acknowledges Munster, asking for the ball, and when he looks across the line, 5 Penrith players, all 5 who are near the line, are set, in that sprinting position.
Yeah.
So that sets off like a sprinter.
It must be somebody's job in that situation to
deal with the ball.
To deal with the 9. It must be somebody's must have missed a assignment there.
Because the marker, there was one marker there, but the guy to the right hand side of him, I think it was, his name's gone from me. He's set to go. So it's just the marker there, and Harry Grant's probably one of the best from that distance out, really.
The irony, though. Do you know what, the irony that Penrith, after all the controversy last couple of weeks, they're now coming out and saying, we've been done to because of the rules and we've been cheated out of points and whatever, and you're thinking, you have not got a moral leg to stand on.
Yeah.
What credibility have you come to now say we've been done to by the rules and whatever?
Quite enjoyed listening to that podcast of you two, and you just got loose on Penrith breaking the rules.
But it's ridiculous. Like, it's everything they've done and all the controversy around them at the minute. They've always played for it. He's took a dive and it's disgraceful and whatever. It's like, are you taking the mick with everything? You're open to fight with it at the minute, intentionally having trainers run onto the field, wetting balls, being on field when they're not allowed to, running in front of the bloody kick taker. Wouldn't be surprised if Melbourne were taking a drop goal and the bloody trainer come on for blocking with their hands. Oh, sorry, he didn't know where we were going. He had his hands up, waving to his...
Bounced off his big ball then and went down for a 20-metre restart.
Well, why was his hands up, Ivan? Because he was waving to his family in the crowd. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened with Penrith.
That's typical Penrith.
So Mel.
And like a lot of things, Penrith obviously 4-time winners, everyone hates them. And also they did all those cheating things you mentioned. The people had receipts, didn't they, of Nathan Cleary doing this exact same thing and diving when he runs into a player. In fact, it was against Melbourne. Earlier
Did the same thing.
He did exactly the same thing, got a penalty for it. If this is the rule, play to it. You can't more. Especially if you're Penrith.
If you're Penrith. Boo-hoo, my heart bleeds.
Yeah.
What else caught your eye, Matty?
Oh, the last one, I teased this, that it was not necessarily Australia. It's Toulouse being amazing at rugby. I mean, the 2 points off top.
You're the best French team at the minute.
They're very good, actually.
It's not hard, is it?
I'd like to see French Derby right now, see who would win, but they are 2 points off top. York are top, but they've played a game more, so Toulouse have got a game in hand. It's looking a bit like a 2-horse race at the minute at the top of the championship, although Bradford and Oldham will have something to say about that. And from what I've seen, from all the clips I've seen, Toulouse are playing some really exciting stuff, scoring a lot of points. York are doing well as well, winning games, but they're putting on a lot of points here, Toulouse. And they're exciting to watch. So I think they should be up in Super League next season. If they are, they are. And hopefully they carry on playing like this. Because there'll certainly be some teams at the bottom end of that league who'll be worried about them going over there and getting turned over.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Lewis, you're back on news duty. What have you...
It's been a busy week in the world of rugby league. I'll try and get through as quick as I can because there's a fair few to get through. First of all, let's start off at Salford. So,
Yeah.
where to go with Salford? Let's take it from chronological kind of things. So the first thing that happened, which I'm sure everybody probably listening to this already heard of, because it's not just made rugby league news, it's made kind of Sky Sports news, it's been on BBC news and everything, so
Yes.
how ridiculous it is. The CEO has stood down over many issues that's happened this year. I can imagine she's had a very difficult job this season.
It's not a job anyone really wants, is it? Not something I'd like to be doing.
Well, look how many players have moved on and backroom staff have stood down. But it's been released from her. She's come out and said that during this part of this season that it was actually suggested that to help the club put them in favour with the RFL, should we say, that she actually should sleep with someone in the RFL. It was actually suggested to her.
Well, this is so ridiculous.
That is so bad.
It's so ridiculous. I mean, this is probably how it used to go.
I'm going to be honest.
Millions of years ago.
I read the statement, and my first thought was, I've read someone's took it and is having a wind up, and I didn't think I'd read the real statement.
Yeah.
So I went on to where she posted it and whatnot, and I actually couldn't believe what I was reading.
Ridiculous.
It's obscene that you.
It's further proof that these owners don't get it.
And I will go back to what I've said for a couple of weeks now. This is a professional rugby league club at the top league in our sport.
We
The
should have
top
seen
of
the
the pyramid.
signs when one of their players went down with an injury for falling in a pothole during training. We should have seen the signs that this was not a professional organisation. Should have seen
So
them.
bad.
And I don't know if this is in your chronology or whatever, but the talk this week is that the Salford owners want to buy the whole competition. They want to buy the whole of Super League. Well, how?
to just turn it into a hotel or something.
I don't know. I don't know why.
In order to do that, you need money, and these others haven't got any.
Oh,
Yeah.
they've got money.
Well, where
It's
is it?
It's just not where it needs to be. It's
Well,
not at
the
the
keys-
laundromat.
It's not in players' pockets.
The keys to the Ferrari or whatever it was saying.
What was it? We've got the Ferrari in the garage. We've just not got the keys.
I've got the keys to the garage.
Well,
Anyway, next part of the country, there's been protests by the fans, understandably so. Very angry, very passionate fans at Salford. I was actually watching a segment on BBC Breakfast this morning where there was interviewing Salford fans in the local pub where they all gathered and everything. There's actually people in tears saying, like, this club, if it goes under, this is my life. I follow rugby. I build my life around rugby. It's something. I'm the fourth generation of Salford supporters.
Yeah.
My family's always gone to the game and got season tickets, and she was in tears talking about it. It's heartbreaking to watch.
We'd be the same.
100%.
I'm really sorry to go for this. People have criticised the RFL, and I struggle to realise what the RFL should have done at different times and how they could have avoided this, because there was pressure on them to just allow the owners in.
There's a lot of comments that are like, the RFL are a disgrace for what they've done. I think, well, maybe they've not handled it quite right, but a disgrace, to call them a disgrace, like...
They're not the major issue.
No.
But one thing I'm going to say is, there was this protest, it was this Sunday meant to be against Wakefield. Salford have called off the game, and the RFL have allowed them to call the game off, stating player welfare.
I think it has been technically postponed, hasn't it?
Well, I was going to...
Whether it does get played is understood, but it has technically been
It
postponed.
has to get played if they're going to finish the season.
But-
It has to get played.
Player welfare was stated as the reason why, but they're allowing them to play this week away at Leigh.
Well, I think the reason for that is they've said there's two... For the Wakefield game, there would have only been 2 players out of the 17 who had Super League experience. The rest coming from academy.
What's it going to be next week?
What about
Well,
round 1
apparently-
at St Helens?
Well, apparently they've said that now, because of loan players coming in and
One
players
there anyway.
and players returning from injury, they can field a
No.
team not
They've
so
called
much.
it
That
off.
is what they've said, Jukes. That's what they've
No,
said.
that's the reason they've given.
that's the reason
I
they've
won't
given
call them out, seriously. The reason they call it off is because they know the process, though. Let's not beat around the bush.
They were offered players. Clubs offered them players to take on loan to fulfil this fixture.
As they've done all season.
As they've done for this weekend against Leigh, players have been offered. They've signed 4 today on loan from 4 different Super League clubs, in fact. That they were offered last week. And Salford said, no, we'd rather not play the game. This week, they've said, yes, we'll take them and play the game. The week before, when they were at Hull FC, they said, yes, we'll take them and play the game. Round 1 against St Helens, they said, we'll play all the kids. But that week against Wakefield, all of a sudden, no, we can't do it.
Because of the
I
protest.
think you might be onto something there.
It's as obvious as
I can't believe they're still turning up to
Saying
games. I cannot believe they've shown the face.
Well, on the note about games, final bit of this, it's been lovely to see some support reaching out for Salford, Oldham. This is, I think, a really good story. Oldham have turned around and said any Salford season ticket, if you want to come see some rugby this season, you can come to Oldham and you'll get in for free. Just show us you're a Salford season ticket holder, which I think is absolutely brilliant.
that's rugby league at its best.
A gesture from
Absolutely,
Oldham.
that's rugby league at its best. And people will misconstrue that and say, oh, it's just because they want to replace Salford in Super League for next year. Well, I've always said, when people have criticised, for example, Chris Rodlinski for, he always has to be seen to do the right thing. Well,
That's doing the right
I
thing.
don't care. He's doing the right thing. He's doing a good thing. I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever his reason, he's doing a good thing.
They're not making money out of it.
Oldham,
They're not,
well, they might make a little bit of money.
they're not
They
saying,
might make their team better. They might play a bit better.
yeah, but what I mean is they're not saying, oh yeah,
You can come
if you're a
for time.
Salford season ticket holder, you can come and get tickets for half price.
No, they've shown a great. This is a
And
great.
some of them will buy a bit of food and a drink or whatever. It won't make that much money.
If they cheer on the team, they get them over the line for a game or two. It might be worth it.
So that's the Salford bit. That's what I'm going to wrap up on Salford. Another piece of news I'll go to. I actually heard this when I was listening to, I can't remember which game it was now, it was on TalkSport 2. I was in the car and one of the commentators on the game actually said it, but I don't think it's been reported anywhere else. He made a comment, player insurance.
No, it's not been reported anywhere else because it's a good news story.
Yeah, so no one
So
else will
no one else
report it.
cares.
Player insurance is actually now cheaper. And they were saying it's basically evidence that the whole, crackdown on headshots has worked because now we've got less, players every month are paying less for player insurance. So kind of evidence that it worked in a way.
Yeah. Well, we see less high tackles and we see fewer headshots, I would guess.
I just hope that this is the case of, yeah, it's worked. We'll stop messing with the rules for a bit.
Yeah.
That's what they said they were going to do.
Rather than...
That's what they said they were going to do.
Yeah, but you know what rugby league's like and we'll change their mind.
They said if it doesn't work, we'll have to go even more drastic. But it has worked, so keep it like this.
Yeah, I'm going to interrupt your news, Lewis, purely because I've just seen something with the 1873 and it's going back on Salford.
Breaking news.
Let me guess another Salford twist.
Yeah, the leaders or the representatives of the 1873 group met with two of the owners. The owner, Curtis Brown, and Paul King. Paul King is currently running operations.
I think he was the old owner who came back to try to save them this year.
One of the owners, Saya Kalia, was unable to attend. It sent his apologies due to him, as it was stated, being in London, working with lawyers over a funding agreement. There are 5 or 6 major points through this. One of the alarming things that I've read is the fact that Ultimate Times, through this, they said they have lack of awareness of dissatisfaction.
Yeah, it said they were only aware of dissatisfaction
In the last
week.
It also said, we apologise...
They thought it was all sunshine and rainbows all the rest of this season.
They said they apologised for lack of communication with the supporters and then admitted they had no experience in running a sports club.
No.
Loads of other things have gone through, and I will share it on Twitter or X for you
What's
to
that bit
read
about the
yourself.
ground?
The ground...
It's basically a fancy way of saying that they only bought the club because they fancied the stadium, essentially. and the
They
land.
wanted the stadium.
They said they're going
I
to
think
be...
it was early on when it
They
was just ready.
think they're going to be in Super League next year, but the points deductions that will come from cancelling the game against Wakefield, and because they're still being investigated for deliberately sending the weakened team for round 1 when the Ferrari was still in the garage. It seems like 5 years ago when that was happening, and we were hoping they were going to get the full team back. But the 4 points they're going to get deducted there, they think are going to affect their IMG score. Well, I don't think it will because they'll be bottom, and then if they get points deducted, they'll still be bottom.
Yeah, so I just want to run through these couple of points that said, with regards to the bridging loan, there is no figure actually being disclosed. But they've confirmed that it will clear debt and provide a 12-month buffer.
The debt has doubled since they took over.
Yeah, the bridging loan is tied to the stadium development, not dependent on Super League status. The plan is for the club to own 20% of the stadium company. So they want to do the stadium up, they want to do the land around it up. So the club will own 20% of that, including revenue shares.
It's not a case of trying to run before you can walk. Why don't you just pay staff?
Yeah.
Don't do your stadium up Until you pay your staff.
They have no worry about reputational damage because fans have said that they're worried about this reputational damage for future recruitment, and they just disagree.
But you can't disagree with that. Oh, dear me.
You as a rugby league player right now, would you move to Salford?
Absolutely not.
Permanently?
No,
Would you?
move to Oldham.
But they disagree and say, no, it's fine. This will not affect us recruiting players.
Because it will.
Yeah,
Because if it's hard to recruit them, you have to pay them more money to
course
come
it
to you,
will,
which
yeah.
puts you in more financial trouble. You don't have to have a master's in business to know that, understand it.
Of course it'll affect recruitment.
I just want to, just a couple more points I want to look at here. Curtis stated he has developed some personal attachment to the club.
He's got some.
Yeah, that's
personal
good, Dennis. He's got some personal attachments.
He's bought a club and gone, you know what, they're alright, this.
They're
They're alright,
you
these.
know.
They're alright,
You
these
will
fans.
not guess the next point. Curtis stressed they have no intention of running the club long term.
Oh. Right. Okay.
So what was the point?
Curtis asked when they would walk away, and they confirmed they will explore all options, but accepted that they may be near to the end. I'm guessing that's the end of their time owning the club. The owners reported there was no negativity from the RFL so far.
Well, there must have been for the... well, no, that might have been from Super League, I suppose.
Yeah.
Round 1 debacle.
The belief is that Super League will stay at 12 teams plus 2 promoted teams. There is no live IMG score. They don't know where Salford stand on that. Yeah.
Well, given that Carl Fitzpatrick came onto Sky Sports and said the reason we're doing this is to avoid a situation like Salford's this year, I can't imagine they're going to be in Super League next year, based on what Fitzpatrick said. But
Well, they've not got a squad to be in Super League.
no,
next
they
year,
haven't got a squad
They was then asked
to be in any league.
They was then asked to do a fans forum, so the fans could speak to these guys, and they said yes if the bridge loan comes through, which
Right.
would then pay off the debt.
Okay. Oh,
I just don't get how a loan can. Oh, I'm so confused.
I'm also confused.
Have a read of it yourselves.
I feel like
The major part for this was what was clear. This was from the opening statement. What was clear is that the next 10 to 14 days will be critical to the club's immediate future. The true test will come in whether the promised bridging fund actually materialises, which will determine the club's short-term stability.
right.
So we're waiting on a loan to be safe in the short term, and we've got no clue what's happening.
No,
Post the next
there is
year.
no plan long term.
No.
There
Awful.
There isn't a long term plan.
They've bought the club with no passion for rugby league, not knowing what they're doing, not knowing what they want to do, no long-term aims and ambitions for the club or for them owning it in the long term, and it seems like, I don't know, they've got some plan to do with the stadium and land around it, which probably doesn't have, again, probably
Hotels.
outside of rugby league purposes.
Yeah.
So,
We'll give you 20% of the stadium. Oh, brilliant. To be fair, I will say Andy Burnham and the Mayor of Salford, Paul Dennett, are demanding a meeting with the Salford owners. They've written an open letter saying they're getting involved to try and help Salford out.
It's about time.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Burnham hasn't been involved more. He's the mayor of Greater Manchester, isn't he? So should have been all over this.
Yes.
Given how much he likes the champion sport in particular, should have been all over this.
right, should we go back to
Yeah, sorry
mainstream?
for interrupting your news there and obviously
It's
going
okay.
back onto
So
Salford.
we just
but-
did the insurance one. What's next?
It's okay. I was going to say we'll get through the next ones quite quick because we spent quite a time there going over Salford. So Brad Arthur extends at Leeds, which
Yeah.
I'm sure again people listening to this already know that. So it's a 12-month extension, I believe.
12-month
Richard,
extension.
was it?
Because this news broke last Monday or Tuesday, didn't it? And we recorded early because I was going away.
Same with the Paul Deacon news, we should say.
Oh yeah, Paul Deacon news that broke on Monday morning, I think.
Yeah, and
Monday
we recorded
lunchtime.
on Sunday.
And we'd recorded on the Sunday and only put it out on the Tuesday. So, yeah, the Paul Deacon returning as an assistant coach. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
He's obviously been a relatively successful attacking coach with Sale. And when I went to Sale this year, I was very impressed with their skills on attacking. So that can be Paul Deacon, the Paul Deacon's fault. And
Are you his reference?
I could have been if they'd have asked me. I said I went to a Sale Sharks game and they attacked really well and had loads of great skill. Scored 3 amazing tries from their own half. So yeah, a higher Paul Deacon.
You hired Paul. Sticking with Leeds and Salford, Joe Sherrocks to Leeds.
It's just a loan till the end of the season, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, he'll have a club lined up for next year.
So
I'm
he's
sure.
the next person to get out the door at
It feels
Salford.
a bit like. We'll take Joe for sympathy reasons.
Well,
I don't think you really need him.
I agree to an extent, but I also think he gives you an option at second row, gives you an option at 13.
He's a good player.
He can fill in at 9.
The fans are a bit annoyed, but I think he's a decent.
For half a season long, to me, it feels a bit like when Wire signed John Bateman last year for half a season. It's like, you sign him on loan.
It's on loan.
He's been there, he's won a grand final,
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to be a negative, is he?
No, but he's not going to do him any harm, is he?
No.
Sticking with kind of player news because the next two link together, so we'll talk about them after. Bit of a weird one at Warrington. King and Dufty dropped to the reserves. So we talked about Dufty, I believe, last week. So he was stood down due to internal disciplinary reasons. He's been dropped to the reserves. Toby King has also followed him.
Yeah, I don't really know why Toby
Weird
King
one,
followed
isn't
him.
it?
Was it just for not playing very well?
I know Dufty did give a reason and said internal disciplinary, but
They won the game, Warrington, which is not really to be... it's not surprising, really, when you consider the team that they put out. But he did get skinned for 2 tries, did Toby King. Makes you think.
I don't know. Seems like, I don't know, what would you... Burgess, he had the culture, he had him defending well, they were looking hard for each other, and this seems just like a bit of a backward step,
didn't he? He had the whole... I won't quote it, but the Brendan McCullum's no something heads policy he seems to have, and it's a hard stance. You got to say that for him.
Yeah.
Shows, I don't know. Dufty, one of your men alongside George Williams.
It's a brave call.
Big kahunas, isn't it, that drop him?
It's a very brave call considering you sat around just outside of the playoffs.
I think about how much money there is tied up in those two.
But what I mean is you're searching for the playoffs. To not pick them two, it's a massive, massive call.
It is. And then, if we kind of link these two on together, expansion. Matty, we missed your opinions on expansion. When me and Dukes did this. The news is that I sent to the committee has been confirmed who it's made up of, with the Lord, I can't remember his name.
Do you want me to go through it? So Lord Kane's
heading it, isn't
with Abieta Kuku and Dermot Power, who are 2 non-executives of the RFL.
It's probably a good thing we don't know who any of these people are.
Tony Sutton.
It's not like Adrian Morley's picking.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing that we don't know who they are. You know what I mean? No offence to Adrian Morley, but this is not the kind of job that you should be doing.
Yeah. Tony Sutton, Graham Sargent, Rodri Jones and Peter Hutton.
Yeah.
So that makes the 7-man panel. What they've basically stated today, in addition, so the top 12 clubs will be decided by IMG.
Yeah.
In addition to the 5 pillars under which clubs are judged in the club's grading system, which is fandom, performance, finances, stadium and community, this panel's also going to judge against a further set of criteria relating to finances and sustainability. And this includes the financial performances in 2025, detailed financial performances and sustainability forecasts for 2026, 2027 and 2028, and their ability to field a competitive team for 26 and 20. That's why everyone's making the signings now. Clubs have until next Tuesday to register their intent to apply, and then have all the details submitted by Friday, September 12th.
Yeah. And by the way, when we're waiting on this comment to decide whether they were going to apply or not, whether they thought it was worth applying. So they're going to read those bullet points you just said and decide, do we have a chance? If they don't have a chance, they're not going to apply.
That's fair enough.
I think it is.
And then they're saying the composition of Super League will be decided by Thursday, October 16th.
Can I go on this?
Go on, unleash.
Because I've had this for 2 weeks.
Did you get the key out to lock you out your cage and let you go?
Let me go on this. Well, I've been a big fan of expansion, as you both know, and as the people listening probably all know. Of expanding to 14 teams and ditching loot fixtures. Of expanding to 16, 20, 24, whatever. I think the move to 14 teams and no loot fixtures is a good thing. Let me put that out there. I think adding 2 more teams that will probably be competing near the bottom of the league is probably a good thing for the league.
You watch more Championship rugby than we do.
I do, yes.
And keep close eye on that. Do you think there's 2 teams, or potentially more than 2 teams?
There's 4 teams potentially that could.
Do you think? I'm not saying they're going to compete for top 6, or
no,
whatever, but do you think they'll compete with the bottom 4?
I really do. I really do. My only concern would be if you brought one of them up, they would compete. Because those players that always seem to get signed by newly promoted teams, there's not enough of them to go across two teams, or three, potentially.
No, but you look at the signings being made by some teams that we suspect to be in question.
Yeah.
Paul Vaughan.
Yeah, Paul Vaughan and 250,000. 250,000 by the way, Paul Vaughan.
That's serious
That's
money to spend.
ridiculous.
If
He's not worth that, but that's ridiculous. But that's what you've got to pay him if you wanted to sign for York. 250,000 for Paul Vaughan. Anyway, that's another point. I just wanted to bring that up. 250,000 for
but
Paul
what
Vaughan.
I mean is, it's clearly that these teams have realised that.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about Sean Long for a moment. Sean Long was on the Back 10 podcast this week. Oldham head coach, who are fourth currently in Championship and 4 points. Is it 4? 4 or 6 points off the top, anyway. And they're doing well. So they're going to be in the playoffs. He was saying that the teams that are going up are going to find out on grand final night that they're up. That cannot be right. He was saying that's not enough time to build your squad. That I've been saying for years, the team that gets promoted from the Championship has to have gambled. Lee in 2023 gambled. They signed a lot of players to Super League deals. They gambled they were going to win the playoffs. They did. Wakefield last year gambled they were going to be the 12th IMG team. They were in. But they signed a lot of players to Super League deals. They won the playoffs as well. If you're going to be promoted to Super League, you need to know, if you want to build a competitive roster, you need to know at least 9 months in advance. And I would probably say it should be more like 12 or 18 months in advance. I cannot see for the life of me how this has happened for 2026 now, in August. And I know the two Hull clubs voted for it to happen in 2027. And Wigan abstained because they didn't think there was enough information. We spoke about that. You two spoke about that. Yeah. I can see how this would work for 2027. I actually think this really would work for 2027. I think
because they've got the time to make themselves Super League calibre.
Grand final night, you say these are our 14 teams for Super League 2027. For 2026, it's going to be if Salford need to go out, and they might not. Let's cross our fingers for them not to. But if Salford need to go out, they're replaced by the next best IMG team, as it would have been last year.
Yeah.
Right, fine. Perfect. Do you then give 15, 16 months to the two teams that are going to come up to build their squads properly?
The only thing that might save them is if they say, listen, you've got 3 years once you're in there.
But that will just lead to 2026 being full of so many blowouts and people saying, oh, this hasn't worked, complain.
Oh, no, I know.
They ditch it. If you gave any two of those four teams at the top of the Championship 12 months, they could sign enough players, probably, maybe not all four of them because there's not that many players to go around, but they could sign enough players to build a competitive squad that would finish probably outside the playoffs, but would win more games than Salford have this year and Huddersfield have this year. They'd be competing along the side of Cass and Catalans. I am fully convinced of that. You could build a squad in 12 months that will compete with those teams. You might even, if you were the only team coming up, you might build one even better, like Wakefield did.
I do want to say something. I do think this always gets sort of missed. There will always be a team that finishes bottom. And that sort of just seems to get ignored. There will be a team that loses a lot of games because they're just not there. And whenever it's an expansion team that finishes near the bottom, so when we've had promotion relegation, it's all the league can't sustain it. A few years ago, it was Warrington that were teetering at 10th. And everyone was talking, we've got a squad, but it's the management and it's this and it's that. I just think sometimes we can just be a little bit too quick to jump to how poor a team is and, this will never work.
Teams go through cycles. Look at Hull FC and Wakefield are the perfect opportunities.
Hull KR was in a £1 million game and got relegated. Went down to Championship 10 years ago? Something like that, yeah. Decade ago. It's not that long, is it? Do you know what I mean? These things take time. There's always going to be blowout scores. I remember when Hull KR was a blowout score every week and they were an easy 2 points. And Castleford, except that kind of couple of years under Del Pyle where they got the semi and then reached the grand final and whatever, but apart from them, been no disrespect to them, but they're
Yeah, they are.
likely to a blowout score every week against a stronger.
And there might
team.
be a few more of those blowout scores, but every week there's now going to be probably a more competitive game.
There'll be a bottom of the table clash.
But they are competitive usually.
Yeah.
Now I understand that you're going to dilute the game. That you are going to spread more thinly across the piece of toast the butter of how many players we've got in this division. Now that will lead to, as I think Chris Radlinski might have mentioned, players from the top teams that bring through strong academy products, them leaving for game time. That happens in the Premier League because there's so many teams.
Well, to be fair, Radlinski even said, he went, I'm not even against it. He said, rugby league's a short career. If you can go make yourself a couple of extra quid and get more games in a different contract, all for it, It knows the game.
And while we're a salary cap sport, that problem is always going to exist. And while the salary cap is so low, that problem's always going to exist. So I do see that side of it. I do think that if I'm being particularly selfish, I think Wigan will be weaker because of it. But I think it would make the league more fair because everyone plays everyone home and away, and that's it. That's where you finish.
Yeah.
And we've been asking for that for years. As for the Magic Weekend, couldn't care less at this point. It was brilliant when it started. Now it's just a weekend where everyone plays somebody all in one place. Whatever.
Chris Radlinski said it right. It's not magic anymore.
What's magic about it? Yeah.
Let's just say it's an extra game, and some teams get a hard game, some teams get an easy game. It's an extra game, whatever.
It needs to be made more of, doesn't it?
Just get rid of it.
Rather than just, everybody come to Newcastle.
It's not going to be a nines competition. They're not going to make it into a nines competition because that won't be taken seriously by anybody.
Play nines, risky players getting injured, and
Just
you get no benefit
all
for
the
it.
academy players playing nines. Whatever.
Yeah. There is something else to mention with this, sort of linking to expansion. I don't know if you had it down. Bradford?
Yes, I did have Bradford. That's the final piece of news. Bradford and the Brian Noble situation.
Well, this has been talked up, hasn't it, ever since Nigel Wood was voted an emergency chair of whatever he's been voted.
Emergency, but not emergency, but he's staying on. He's not.
That Nigel Wood was, at least before this, a shareholder in Bradford Bulls and has been until today, apparently.
Yeah, he's been a minority shareholder.
Minority shareholder in Bradford Bulls until today. Brian Noble, who is current Bradford Bulls head coach, is going to be promoted.
He's not staying as head coach.
He's being director of
but
rugby.
he's keeping a role at the club.
Well, it said a more holistic rugby approach. That's director of rugby to me, whenever I've heard of it. So, listen, Brian Noble will be a great choice as director of rugby, but I also think he's a great choice as head coach. So, who they're going to get in, I don't know. The noises, certainly from what you were right there earlier, Juicy, about Yorks and Paul Vaughan, 250,000 for Paul Vaughan. I keep bringing that up. That's such 250,000. Anyway,
250.
York paying Paul Vaughan 250,000. It tells me they think they're going to be in. Bradford making all these moves feel like they're going to be in. And then it's a question of who comes in for Salford. I think Toulouse would be the next best club, but Oldham would then feel hard done to because there's a definite top four, I think, this year in the Championship, and one of them is
one of the statements was, and I can't remember who it was by, stated, didn't Bourne say these 12 clubs might not be the 12 best IMG clubs?
Well, yes, he did say that, but I don't believe him. I think he was saying that because Salford aren't going to be in the 12. I think the other 11 are pretty safe. I think the other 11 are safe. They should be anyway. I think they're just about safe, all the other 11. Especially if you could maybe argue between the two of them or whatever, between Huddersfield, Cats, whatever. But I think for somebody to come in and usurp when we're trying to add, I don't think there's going to be any usurping.
No, usurping.
No usurping.
That is definitely a word we've not used on this
just
podcast
be
before.
addition.
Right.
The usurper, Rob Starr.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back and go around the grounds. So, we're back for the final bit as we go around the grounds. Unfortunately, if you skipped over the news, there was only 4 games this weekend because Salford, for some reason, couldn't play.
No, they couldn't play this week.
Really interesting that Wakefield, we should have mentioned this in the news, they only found out when they got told to announce it.
Yeah, so they were told, the media person at Wakefield was told, go and announce the game's been cancelled. And he went, the game's been cancelled? And he went to the higher-ups and they went, what, the game's been cancelled? And so nobody knew until they were told by Salford. I wasn't told by Salford or the RFL to put the tweet out saying the game's been cancelled. That was the first they heard of it. The media guy was the first to hear about it.
It's typical rugby league, that,
It is, isn't it? Yeah,
It's typical.
It is.
English rugby league, that.
Yeah.
Remember when you said typical rugby league and it was about someone falling over a pothole or
Oh,
balls being released?
the
Now
balls.
it's just talking about nothing getting
What
done
was the
right.
third
It is
one?
done,
There was
yeah.
definitely a third one, wasn't there? There was the pothole, the balls being released. There was definitely a third only rugby league one. I can't remember what it is. Maybe it'll come to me at some point. But let's talk about this game.
Right, Warrington win 30 points to 22 against Catalan on Thursday. Catalan had a massive lead. They were 22-6 up
Yeah.
after 30 minutes.
Yeah. Makinson got the hat-trick and I think he got injured scoring his third try maybe.
Yeah.
But he definitely went off not long after it.
A couple of things I want to talk about. Again, we talk about how important tries are around half-time. Fewley scores in the last minute of the first half. Rather than going in 16 points of lead, they only go 18 points of lead, they only go in 12 points ahead.
Mm.
Big swing. You've just lost Tommy Makinson, who scored a first half hat-trick. It's a big change and a big momentum shift. But the other major point I wanted to mention was the video ref again.
Yeah.
Was given try.
This is the Jake Thewlis. At first I thought, wow, what a finish.
Yep. It was given try on field.
Yeah.
I can understand why it was given try on field.
Yeah. Well, I can understand why it was given try by the video ref based on the grainy footage that was clearly filmed
With a potato.
with a potato on the corner of the pitch at 240p.
I'm sorry, and I know it's a completely different sport, but it is mad watching football and cricket, and you can see them zoom in.
Never mind football and cricket. Liam Marshall was denied a try by Ultra HD cameras on round 3 of the season in Vegas.
Yeah.
In this exact same situation.
But you can see them zoom in, and you can see if they've got a little bead of sweat playing them offside, or just done this, or just done that.
His armpit hair's offside and ruled it out.
And we look like we are recording or doing these games through like live picture. You know, like some guys drawing every frame. Jeez.
Man, like we play some games that are recorded on better quality cameras than. Well, they're not really, but
They're as good.
they look like they're as good.
Yeah.
They're not really.
Yeah.
Somebody's webcam, they're actually not, but they feel like they are.
Are we happy that it was a knock-on?
Well, now I've seen the alternative angle from the cameraman. What a shot, by the way. What a brilliant camera shot that was.
Yeah.
Where he's clearly lost the ball. Yeah.
Hear me out. Why not just ask?
You can't just ask the cameraman. You can't just ask the cameraman.
Put a camera there.
How could he be the video ref?
If you can have a cameraman
What if
sat
he
there,
misses
right,
the
to take a
moment?
picture, right? Put a camera there, staring at that corner.
No,
You know
but
the
the,
old dive
the
in
problem
there.
was that it would have been, because it was capturing not a single moment, it was capturing the video, then it would have been elongated and it would have the super long fingers and the ball would have gone stretched, which is what actually happened here. But I wanted to say, Castellan on 1 win in 14. They are really approaching Mick McCarthy. Wasn't his 1 win in 17?
1 in 17.
That they're really approaching Mick McCarthy territory. They could do it this year.
It can't carry on like
It
this.
can. It can.
What's awful about it is when you look at the squad they've got, though.
Yeah.
It's all those, got star players on the field. And just can't get a win. It's so
Can't get over the line. I thought they
strange.
just went into a defensive pattern way
22-6
too soon.
up.
Yeah, but they decided that was enough. They're holding it.
And then
Too soon.
blew it.
Too soon to go into holding.
I'm just looking at the Catalan squad from this game. There are some serious players out there, and there's some serious money being spent, and they're obviously losing a couple. Tavita Pangai Jr. is going to Warrington.
Yeah, and he started fighting with them.
Doesn't half seem like a Warrington signing. But you're talking about...
He's replacing Paul Vaughan, who I must say again has been bought for £250,000.
You can't do all that.
It's just too much for a prop. And, for York to pay for a prop at that age.
But
How have York even got £250,000?
going on to Catalans, I'm just going to mention some of the names here. Tommy Makinson. How many grand finals has he won? 5?
Loads.
6? Maybe?
Almost all
5?
of them.
Reema Smith, a serious NRL centre. Nick Cottridge, Luke Keary, Theo Farge, Chris Satai, Tavita Pangai Jr.
But I said at the start of the season, if you reeled those names off in 2019, you'd think, wow, World Club Challenge winners.
But that's what I mean. We've said it before that they've gone away from this, and the one experienced player that they had for a while was like they had Sam, but they were bringing young French lads through.
They were bringing a Roosters half-back over every year.
Yeah.
Just a part, yeah.
But now they've just got their Catalans of 2008, 10,
Yeah.
12.
I feel like the Theo Five signing obviously hasn't worked for them. He was going to be the prodigal son that returned to lead French rugby league into the future and play for Catalan. He's now going to sign for Pierre Donkeys next season. That's his junior club, fine.
Yeah.
But there's two teams going into Super League. One of them could probably use Théophage. One of them might even be in France and could use Théophage. Catalan could probably use Théophage. Seems a strange release that for me.
Yeah, I don't get that. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
So there was just us on Friday. There was 2 games on Saturday.
Yeah, there's no clashes really in this whole weekend.
Which
Well, there should have been. There should have been on Sunday.
Yeah. Leeds went to Castleford. 64 points to 6.
Yeah.
I know we talked about Hull KR having Rowan Milne. I don't think Rowan Milne would have helped Castleford in this game.
Yeah. This is an ugly look, isn't it? When you think
64-0.
Yeah, Castleford have been competitive at times this year, and when you think about it, they're not even close to the worst team in the division, and they're putting performances out like this.
Not that it matters, but they were at home as well. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah. Well, I have
Watching
seen a lot
that.
of people that are Castleford supporters that follow us that are very, very unhappy with this performance, and I can see why, because obviously they have big matches against Wakefield and Leeds. Those are the big derbies for them. And they just not turned up at all.
When I saw the score, I didn't watch the game. I only watched the highlights after. But when I saw the result, the first thing I thought was they must have been missing loads. This must be a really battered.
What about Joe Westerman wasn't at 7 again?
Joe Westerman
You
played
missed
13.
that, by the way, Joe Westerman being at 7. You weren't here to talk about that. That would have been fun.
But you actually look through their squad. Lewis Senior, Sam Wood, both playing centre, both decent players. Dejan Arce and Chris Atkin, Brad Singleton, Tom Amore, George Lawler, Alex Mellor, Joe Westerman. They're first team players.
The pack's pretty much strong, isn't it?
It's the best pack.
It's the best pack they've got.
And I'm like, so this is a decent team that Leeds have beat. They've not had 15 injuries and they've sent all the kids out and butchered a team of kids, or they're having a week off or whatever. But did you see Chris Chester's comments after this?
No.
Half of the team that played against Leeds wouldn't be here next year if it was up to me.
It is up to him?
Well, it is, but it's whether we can get them all out.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Whether we can get them all out and get
Oh,
replacements.
because they've been signed by people previously on
Yeah.
bad contracts. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense.
That's telling.
Yeah, very.
If you're coming out, you've been there, how long's he been there? 6 weeks?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
6-8 weeks, and he's coming out and saying things like that already.
They're on about Gary Carr to be the next boss, the Australian. So whoever it is, he's got
The linked with a few Australians. They're linked with 2 wingers and a full back.
Yeah.
Who are decent players, decent NRL players. But
well, yeah.
if you're losing 64-6, I don't think you need
So was Chase Blair when he came over.
My point is, if you're losing 64-6, you don't need to sort your wingers out, do you? You've got bigger issues than that.
Yeah.
Leeds, what should we say about Leeds?
I don't think you can take much from this Leeds performance, really. 'Cause
For
it's
Leeds.
just
Yeah.
I wouldn't say effective. You know,
professional, isn't it? They've
Yeah.
just gone and played what's in clearly having a bad day, if I can get my teeth in,
Yeah,
and they've
yeah.
just gone and played what's in front of them and battered them.
A
So
lot of raps for that young Cassell. He got his first try.
Yeah.
People are very confident about him. They're saying he looks better than Morgan Gannon did at that age, which is high praise because you know Morgan Gannon, when he broke through, was an excellent player.
that Morgan Gannon, the one off to the Warriors.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because there's a little bit of tension about
No,
that.
I don't know. I think when Gannon came through, he was certainly an excellent player, and if this lad can, do the same.
Yeah, I just wonder whether they're saying that because Gannon's leaving. But really good.
Good for him anyway. Got a first try. I'd like to see that.
and really good for Leeds. For Leeds.
Leeds.
Next game, half-hour kick-off on Saturday. Hull versus Lee. 18 points to 12.
Hull finally win at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won one.
They won one in
About 2 months ago.
Who did they beat? Can't remember. Who did they beat?
Wakefield,
wasn't it?
Salford.
Yeah, they
I think they beat Wakefield in a very scratchy performance.
16-10.
Wakefield, yeah.
And they beat Leith, actually.
Yeah.
Won again.
2 home wins. They were 12-0 up. Lee got it back to 12 apiece. Hull score with 20 minutes to go to make it 18-12, and Lee, as much as they were in it at the end, didn't really throw a massive threat.
No.
Hull, I don't think they...
No, the final play was fun. They had a penalty that they kicked to touch. We were watching this on my phone because we just come off the cricket pitch ourselves. And the clock ticked to 0 and all the Hull fans cheered. And Chooksy went, that's not how time works, because they still had the free play. Yeah. It would have been, well, I suppose it would have been ironic if Lee had scored from that and kicked the goal, but no, they didn't manage to get over the line.
Well, it's interesting, is that you said a couple of weeks ago, Jukes, you thought that, obviously, Lee, they've claimed some scalps this year, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Big scalps. And it was a question of could they keep this going for weeks and weeks and weeks leading to playoffs, and we said that possibly is going to come a dip here. There's going to come a time they're going to get tired and they will fall off. I know you were saying we wasn't recording the podcast, you think there is enough time for them to pick the form back up with the games that's remaining and spike it and kind of rebuild or rebound, should I say, and go again.
Yeah.
We were talking about...
It was always going to be there for them to keep that going.
We were talking about
Beating Wigan, beating Saints, beating KR.
Impossible.
You can't keep that going. You've got to dip at some
and
point.
beating Warrington in that as well.
Yeah.
I know they lost to Leeds in between those two, but...
It's really interesting because we were talking about teams and building into the playoffs, and I still think Wigan, for example, are building into the playoffs. And I've seen enough signs that I'm okay. Lee had to get a big spelling because of the... I'm not saying poor start, but they weren't great early on.
Inconsistent, wasn't it?
They lost lost a couple of games they should have won, and
Had that draw.
yeah, that just slowed that momentum down. Did a great spell. It's got them into position. I think Lee are going to be quite lucky at the next 2 games of Salford and Cass, both at home.
Yeah.
And then your final 3 are Warrington, Saints and Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Warrington might already be out of the top 6 and not able to make
They
it.
already are.
I think they are. Mathematically might be out.
All right, mathematically.
St Helens, it'll become that conversation of jostling for positions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you rest this week and win the
Well,
week
that's what I was
after?
going to talk about, jostling for positions, because we spoke a few weeks ago about there being a clear top 5. And that still holds true, but they're now 5th in that top 5.
I'm just looking. Saints, tough couple of weeks. Got Hull, KR and Wigan before Lee and Cass the last 2.
In good form, though, Saints.
They are in good form.
But again, they've been in good form. It does hit you at some point, and they're going to have to rest pre.
I think they're building these Saints.
These are a bit like a car coming up to you.
Bit of a dark horse, I think.
Yeah.
In a way. I think people looking at Wigan, they're looking at KR, obviously, maybe Leeds in at 3rd.
I think the reason,
Saints just in the background, just doing what they need to do. They're winning. Not many people are talking about them as much as they are about Hull, KR, Wigan and Leeds. But
I think there is a good reason for that, and I think the reason for that is brilliant as they have been. We're just going to put the Saints game in with this now.
Yeah, we might as well.
Brilliant as they've been over the past few months, there is still the caveat that they are yet to make a final under Paul Wellens, and they are yet to beat Wigan, Lee, or Hull KR in the last 17 attempts.
Well,
Warrington.
I just want to throw something out here. From June, they've won 8 of the last 9. Yeah, just checking my maths there.
Yeah, they've lost against Hull KR and they've lost against Lee in that time.
That, I want to throw the games that they've played out there. They lost to Lee and lost to Hull KR. When you look at other top teams and competing teams, they've beat Leeds twice and they beat Hull. But the rest of the games have been Salford twice, Castleford, Wakefield and Huddersfield.
I think that's why the Saints fans are treating them as a dark horse. I think that the journalists this week sort of started to heap praise onto St Helens and Paul Wellens, and the Saints fans went, hold on a minute. We've
We're
not
winning games we should be winning. We've
We're
not
winning
played
games we should be winning, exactly. And
We've not been tested.
we've not been tested, and anytime we have been tested over the past 3 years, we've lost. Now, they might get over that hurdle. They've got chances to get over that hurdle. They've still got to play.
We've already said the next 4 games are Hull, KR, Wigan, and then Lee.
Yeah, so 3 of the teams they've failed to beat in that 4-team thing, they're going to play in the next 4 weeks. They've got a chance to break that. They probably will, actually. You think about it, they get 3 chances. They probably will win one of those 3 games. If they do that, then all of a sudden they've got a bit more belief going into the playoffs. I think that's why the Saints fans are a bit on the fence still about Wellens. And I mean, I don't know how you can still not have your coach sorted for next year when he's in position. Well, I understand Cass because they just sacked one.
My question for that is...
I still think they should have done it by now, but they've sacked one, haven't they? So,
is what keeps Wellens' job? Does getting a home playoff and winning your home playoff keep him his job? Does getting to a semi-final? Do you have to get to grand final?
If he gets to the grand final, he keeps his job. No,
oh, yeah.
You guarantee that because he's made a final, which was his first big question, and he will have beaten along the way at least one of Lee, Hull, KR or Wigan. Possibly 2 of those teams.
I'm holding back on St Helens. So at the start of the season, they beat Salford, Castle and Wakey, and they were flying. They were going to rip Super League apart with Tristan Saylor.
You can't wait till the middle of October to decide who your coach is for next season. I'm sorry, but you can't do it.
This is what I mean. Then they were awful and might never win a game again, according to some people. And now they're back great, but they've not beat KR, Lee, Wigan. They've not. I'm just a bit like...
We'll see.
Yeah, it's been spells, hasn't it, this season?
We'll see.
The thing that I kind of trying to say, they're looking the best they have all season right now.
Yeah.
They're playing the best rugby this season now, and it's at the right time, back end of the season and into the playoffs. Like you said, they've got some tests to come. That'll be telling, I think.
Should we talk about the other team in this then? Because we talked Hull, Lee and Saints. Should we talk about Leeds?
Yeah.
They're the ones that haven't had a big winning streak. When you think about Lee had a really good 6 weeks where they turned over teams. Saints have had a really good month and a half. Hull have had good spells. But actually, you look at Leeds' recent record, 2 wins, then a loss, and a win and a loss, and 2 and a loss. It's been very up and down, and their next 5 games are not easy. They've got Hull games. It's really... The one who probably have is Wakefield, and they're outside the 6.
Wakefield have but they've still got Salford's result from the other day to put on.
And
that would put them in the top 6.
They're meant to play Salford again, aren't they?
And they play Huddersfield twice. Or Huddersfield and Cass. They play the bottom 3 certainly 4 times.
Yeah. Well, you look at Wakey, they've got Wigan, but Huddersfield, Cass, Hull, KR, and Salford again.
So they've got 4 games against the bottom 3.
Yeah.
So you win all them 4 games you're in. And you've already basically won one of them because the other team didn't turn up. So you're in for that one anyway. You need to win 3.
I really can't figure out what the order is going to be of this top 6.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing what it is.
Yeah. Just I think we've talked about everything there.
Yeah, we didn't talk.
What was the Saints' actual result from this week? We didn't mention
Saints
Saints
win
on Sunday.
Saints beat Huddersfield 52 points to 4.
Yes.
Joe Greenwood scored. Good for him.
Yeah.
On his, he got a new deal, didn't he? So.
Oh yeah, he did. I forgot about that.
We spoke about it last week, I think.
The conversation is going to be Sailors playing full back.
Oh yeah, I've got the answer. Paul Wells has said the answer today.
Has it?
Yeah.
Go on.
He said he's looking at a way, you'll love this, to play with 2 fullbacks. Now, where have I heard that before?
Kevin Brown.
Kevin Brown.
So Wellesby's going to play at 6.
I don't know.
Wellesby will play at 6.
I don't know. He said he's going to play with 2 fullbacks. I'd love to see it. If it works, it might change the game. But it didn't work when we tried it. Well, we didn't really try it, did we?
We did try it because it was such a stupid idea.
I don't think it's that stupid. I don't think it's that stupid.
All it means is one's going to play second receiver, and then swing back the other way, and the other one will play.
You'll
receiver.
defend like normal,
yeah,
and then you'll attack with 2 fullbacks, and one of your wingers will be out of play.
See, I don't think it does, mate. We'll just have.
You think your standoff will come out of play?
Yeah, and then just play it like 3 pivots. You know, because take Wigan, we use Ellis, Smith, French and Field as our 4 pivots across the line, and one stays on blind, short side and whatever, and they swing it both ways. They don't stick to a certain... The fullbacks are always the third man like that. If Field's in a tackle, Bevan's getting up to the other side. And
Get one of them to defend on the wing and attack at 13. Imagine that. That'd be wild. That'd
just
be
not going to
wild.
happen.
It's just that'd be wild.
It's just not
I know
gonna
some
happen.
fans that would want that because remember a 13's only there to pass the ball. Remember that?
I don't want to be funny. If you're Wellens, are you going to make that call to try something never ever done before
The 2 fullback thing.
when you don't have a contract?
I'm
next
joking
year?
about the 13, but the 2
You've got
fullback
4
thing.
games left of the regular season. You've got to play Wigan and Kaya and Lee in those 4 games.
Cook it up, Wellens. Give it a go.
I'm just going to emphasise this again. You don't have a job next year.
Give it a go, Wellens. You might be a genius if it works. Well, Kevin Brown will get a job for next year if it works. It was his idea.
Just
The 2 fullbacks. What if it works?
it won't. What if it? No, but what if it does? You can say this as much as you want.
What if it works?
Just try playing 15 players, 16, 17.
It's not been after you.
2 fullbacks.
I think it might work.
No, not having it.
It's got a chance.
Not having it. Right, I think that's it.
Mm.
All for Super League. Looking at the games next week, there's some tough games that are going to be quite important, actually.
Yeah, Hull KR going to Headingley, I'm looking forward to. Really looking forward to.
Thursday night.
Yeah, Hull going to St Helens, I'm really looking forward to. Our game is tasty on paper.
Mm.
Then,
Huddersfield Warrington.
well, that's the thing. 2 teams that aren't in it get to play on Sunday, and then
Catalans Castleford as well.
Yeah. So the teams, the hunting playoffs are all together.
Yeah.
Apart from Lee and Salford.
There's 5 games that are teams similar positions.
4 games.
5. I'm the only one I'm not counting is Lee Salford.
Right. That game
The
that
rest
is
of
going
the-
to go ahead.
What I mean is the rest of the games are all teams who are within 2 or 3 places of each other.
I see what you mean.
So even if you look at Castleford Catalans,
They're still next to each other on the table.
they could overtake each other and suddenly Cas could be looking at a
Single digit finish.
single-digit finish, and things like that do matter. Yeah. Right, lads. Thank you for coming on this week.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get the result we want on Sunday, and we'll see you all next week.